All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. You can tell I'm back. All right, let's get started. Let's get on over here to the solar report. And while we're waiting for that to load up, I'd like to thank you all for taking some of your time to be with our precious family here and get the lowdown on what the truth is. Yeah, no more mainstream media lying, corruption stuff. Time for some truth. All right. Everybody take a couple of deep breaths. Settle in. And here we go. All right. So let me catch this opening frame here. Actually, we don't really need the opening frame. What I want is that event. And we're just going to pause right about there. Okay, let me straighten this up a little bit here. Now, as you can see, we have our little spire glowing over here. We have our event coming out of that region here. Wonder what's going on there, huh? Well, let's take a deeper look, shall we? Let's zoom in on this for you. Gee, makes a dent in the indentation in the instrumentation here. Black round spherical object. You can see its little magnetic field around it. It's taking plasma with it. Seems to have a secondary one right behind it. These are probably the outer satellites of our system returning again. Whoops, whoa. Wrong arrow. Over this side. Okay, nice clear shot of it. Pretty undeniable there. But of course, there's people with their heads in the sand. Anyways, clearly see it there as it moves on out of the screen there, and the secondary one with it. Maybe even a smaller one back here trailing along. Then we have this big streak going right through the screen here. That's pretty close to the camera. That's like one of these little things going zinging by going, hey, did you see that? Did you capture that? Also, something else I'd like to point out is, let me back us up here. I want you to look at that and think about today's date, April 5th, 2024. Things take 3 days to get here sometimes. So what's 5 plus 3? Yeah, it could be showing up around the 8th, maybe. Anyway, there's a good shot of it. And let's just, let me adjust again real quick here and just kind of play that whole sequence. Let's back through it again. And note that our big spire is kind of gone. That little object that was there has kind of moved on out or whatever. So this is coming out of close to that region. Look at this. There's something right there. Very beginning, right there, moving out. And what I mean by moving out of frame. Also here, you see this little guy right out front here. Let's catch this. Okay, you can see this little object right out here making a dent in the instrumentation there again and dragging a bunch of plasma with it. The sun is interacting. Its magnetic field is interacting with this magnetic field. And there's plasma in between them. It's almost like a spark type effect. Then you see as the rest of these other objects come, bounce off, whatever they're doing, it shoves that one out a little further. And there's that one. And a secondary one, what it looks like right there. Actually, right there's a good shot too. Let's zoom in on that. Peekaboo. It's like a pair of eyes looking at you. One object here, one right there. All right. Yeah, it looks almost like a little owl face, doesn't it? With two eyes and a little beak right there. You know, they got those big round eyes, socket things. So kind of looks like an owl, but it's two different objects right there. All right. You can clearly see it. And then when we go over to the GOES X-ray flux, you'll see an uptick in that, and it looks like we're due to get this pass by these objects in this system again. We either passing by us or we're passing by it. But there, right there, is a clear shot of one of these objects. Undeniable. NASA got some splaining to do. We don't even need the filters from like Scott over at Planet X News. I hope he's doing okay. Him and Dr. Albers, I pray for them. But he used to get, some good crystal clear shots. And now, I mean, just the satellite itself is picking it up pretty clear. So there's your activity on the sun today. Now let's come on over to the solar ham. Go through this real quick. The news of the day was the earthquake. Everybody on the East Coast freaking out because they never experienced an earthquake before. But meantime, here's your day for today, our GOES X-ray flux. You can see we're well below the seafloor here starting off. We had this little spike, all right, but then it dropped down well below the seafloor, and any activity was minor sea flaring because our main indice is so low. Okay, see what I'm saying? The overall indice is so low. We are actually in B territory, B 5.5 up here. Okay, so very weak activity off the sun, or the sun's very weak. So any activity registers pretty small. This probably could have been an X flare if we were up in C territory, So right now the sun's very weak. It seems to be the system has like dragged all the sunspots to one side of the sun, and there's hardly any on our side. Most of the activity's on the far side. But then as that system approaches, or we approach it, however it's working, it fires up the sun again and we start popping off and we start seeing the smaller objects first. And then we'll have a couple of good strong ones like almost X flare, and we'll see the main object or so again. All right, so there's that for right now. We might get into that in the spiritual report tonight and kind of go through this pretty quick. 1% on the X flare, 5 on the M. You can see why our overall indice here, let me see, is 121 here, so it's pretty low. All right, no geomagnetic events in the forecast. We got just some weak sunspots that are really small. Over here, we did absorb some energy here, okay? You see we're up here in the mid KP3s. Boom, boom, boom. So we have taken on some energy geomagnetically, all right, through our auroras and stuff. All right, now let's pop open this aurora. You can see that they're pretty vibrant. This one's almost about to turn yellow in here a little bit, so we're getting some strong solar wind right now that's making these suckers glow a little bit stronger, okay? And just about starting to turn yellow in this little band right here. So a little uptick in geomagnetic activity means we're absorbing more energy. And what am I a stickler for? Absorption. And that'll go down to the core. Some of it will go to the core. The core will react. And let's just pop this tracker open real quick. Take a peek at what they're tracking. Track-a-lacking. All right. Now, you can see this big blast that came off the backside here, if it'll play again. All right. Good news. It's going away from us, all right? At least any CME activity or, geomagnetic activity going away from us, so that's good. We don't need any more impacts right now. Now, as we backed out of that, let's just come on over here and get this out the way. Why are they both doing it? You know what? Out of that thing. There we go. Did they update their little forecast here? Coronal hole stream is currently moving past our planet between the 400 and 500. Okay, so that's what's giving us the little uptick in the geomagnetic over here. It wasn't a G1, but we did have some activity over here. All right, a quiet sun, minor G1 storm watch. All right, that's still the old article. So now we can come back over to here and get this one going. Sudden quiet. This is kind of the same too. Solar activity has dropped to low levels as the sun turns nearly spotless hemisphere towards Earth. Yet, when we looked the other day, we had all those sunspots. A big one is on the backside. It seems to be, like I said, a lot of our sunspots are being pulled to one side, and then when said object comes around or approaches, these things rotate around in our direction. Seems like maybe it's orbiting around with that sunspot region, or we're orbiting it, and that sunspot region is pointing at it. All right. Anywho, solar activity has dropped to low levels. Since giant sunspot 3615 departed last week, the sun's baseline X ray output decreased by about a factor of 10. That's a little too much. It's a little scary. It means the sun's actually kind of weak. It's taking a break right now. Eclipse weather forecast, same as before. We'll get into that in the forecast. The only thing that's different here is last season, Arctic auroras. Around the Arctic Circle, many aurora tour guides have already packed their cameras for the end of the season. Mariana Virgil, okay, is glad she waited one more night. This was disguised on April 4th. So some pretty fantastic colors there, green, purple, some wings going off there, looking pretty magnificent, but also a sign of danger too. All right. All that radiation hitting our planet is causing auroras. What happens when we have the auroras? That's the energy being directed to the poles. The poles directed down to the core. It's pretty, but it's a sign that that's dangerous too, as well. They're beautiful, awesome to look at, but these are bad, bad news. All right. So let's move on here. Very awesome shot. You can come over here and take a peek at it. Twisted sideways, all kinds of different things going on in that thing. All right, let's move on though. I need to get over here to the Schumann because, as you see here, let me pull this just a tad bit closer. Can I get one more on that, Lord? All right, well, very weak. Very weak. We had nice, good, strong continuity, no scraping, no grinding for a while, little lull right there. And now look at this. Look at this on the end. Let me go to position 2 here for you guys. All right, there we go. And you can see our 7.83 hertz right here is getting mighty weak right now. All right. So it's a good thing we don't have any solar activity coming our way because our magnetic field is pretty weak. Now, when I'm showing you all the intense scraping and the intensity of these frequencies, when they're in white, that means intensity of the frequency. The frequency is there, it's just very intense. Right now, a lot of these frequencies aren't there. It's just the 7.83 hum, but it's getting mighty quiet right there. Like the sun's getting quiet too. All right, so they do kind of match each other a little bit. When the sun's quiet, our magnetic field kind of reacts and responds too. But all the change, that roller coaster of up and down and intense, and then, well, right now we're having a lull in your Schumann resonance. Okay, it's very weak, which has a different side effect as well. that make you sleepy and lethargic and irritable, just different kinds of effects from changes in intensity of our 7.83. All right. So right now it's getting really weak. So we might be going into a grinding event here again, since we took on some energy here at the KP. So we might be seeing another white little grinding event about to start, maybe next few hours over here, maybe. We'll see. I pray that it's just a little lull in activity and then it comes back, but it appears that maybe pressure might be on the rise again. All right. Now let's get on over here. Return to position 1. All right, and let's go through null school here. All right, right now I got it pulled up on the polar vortexes, and you can see there's nothing. There's no polar vortex anymore. All right, there's this little oscillation, but that's not even a polar vortex. Basically, everything's all kind of going around the rim here in our spring type fashion. Now, let me get this right there. Let's go to our transition zone. Okay, you see our transition zone. We're having little focal activity. Look, coming away from here to here, being all focused right here. So it all drops down, all focusing right in that area. That in the transition though. So when we get to our upper jet, it's causing that effect right there in our upper jet stream. Okay, let me see real quick where where the intensity is. Here's the West Coast. Here's Baja California. All right, and then I'm going to release that and let the winds go. All right, note we have this ridge here that's taking it way up here, grabbing cold air over the midsection of the country, way up into Canada, bringing that cold air back down in and slamming it with this hot cocktail. See, we have a double. There's cold air mixing with moist air here. Gets ripped away. This hot cocktail blends in with cold air again. All right, so that's your upper jet. Now watch what it does to your lower jet. Okay, and this is what the storms are riding on right now. So coming out of here, cold air dropping down across the Pacific, hitting Southern Cal, Mexico area, coming way up over this ridge and then back down. So that's your lower jet. Let me get down to the weather here. In between those two, look, let me go back here real quick. In between this loop, this change right here, this ridge is a giant storm front right here coming up. If you see this moist air coming off the Gulf here is coming way, way, way up there. All right, it's going way up into Canada up in there. So we're going to have cold air that's going to mix with this here, and that's going to get dangerous. Plus, we have this thing circulating out there off the, kind of the Gulf of Alaska here, in between Russia and Alaska. All right, so that'll be a pretty healthy storm right there when that comes through. So let's, that might be the one on our forecast here coming up. So anyways, there's this setup for right now. And it's going to be very volatile here pretty soon, I think. So what I want to do now is come on over to the particulates. Let's check on our sandstorm. Oh, crazy. Going clear up into England, through Spain, coast of France, up into England, up there. Okay, so we got the African one. It's doing its gnarly little jump up like that. Looks like a basketball, here, and his arms ready to shoot a hoop or something. Okay, then look at this one over the Gobi Desert. That is clearly a sandstorm over the Gobi Desert. Undeniable. And then we still got this one going on up here in Russia. So they're experiencing something of their own up here as well. Not so much down in Saudi Arabia right now, but we do have this one definitely flared up over the Gobi Desert, and this one's still active up there. Meanwhile, we have this huge basketball arm reaching right there, ready to shoot a hoop right there, kind of effect. All right, and that's a ongoing sandstorm that's been going on since November of last year, all winter long. It died down for just a second a few weeks ago. Not all the way. It kind of died down, but I thought it was going to go away. Nope, right back to business. And this can be an indicator too of the approaching system too, because the electrostatic effect on the sand is made out of silicon, and if you put an electrostatic charge to it, it becomes lighter than air, and it wants to dance in the air. So you give this stuff an electrostatic charge, hit it with a gust of wind, and it goes airborne. And now we have sandstorms in the wintertime, and it's reaching all the way across, dumping sand on South America. There's parts of Africa over here in South America, up here in Britain. There's parts of Africa up here in Sweden and Norway from last week. So Africa has been like spreading its roots all over the place. All right, so there's your sandstorm. Let me get over here to the chemicals. Here's your SO2. Take off the wind and go to business. All right. You can see main pocket concentration still pretty good right there. It does just seem to have lightened up in this region a little bit. Let's take a peek down here at Java. It's still pretty solid purple. Let me see what the winds are doing here. Yeah, taking most of that right offshore. So take all of this purple and shove it back on the land, and it's still pretty dark. Let's come over here to our fulcrum points here in South America. Yeah, still got a lot of pressure in this region too. Right there, you can see that one's kind of grown in size, actually. These other ones kind of weakened out a little bit, but that one's even more dominant and a little bit bigger and darker than usual. As we go down, you can see the whole coast still very dark purple through there. Okay, so let's go up here to America. Take that out the way. We need the wind off of there too. My bad. That's what I was doing. Okay. So as you can see, boom, country divided. One side bleeding out, the other side kind of patchy, clearing up. It looks like the wind's carrying a lot of this up that way. Let's take a peek real quick. Yep, sure is. That storm front that we saw that I was showing you, it's going through the middle of the country right there, is taking a lot of this gas and swooped it up. And you can see it. Oh, you can see it. Give me that. Get out of there. How it's done that. All right, so kind of going off this way a little bit this time. All right, so pressure's still around. I mean, we receive it and try to vent it the best the planet can. It's got its own little system, its own little network of venting this pressure. All right, now I wanted to get out of here and go to... Oh, yeah, that's right. The ocean one. Surface temperature anomalies. Change it to the currents instead of waves. Japan still got its hotspot going. Still this hotspot in between Taiwan. Right there. And then what was the other one I wanted to look at? Help me, God. What was it? We're looking at... and it was a good place. I'm thinking, why didn't I look there before? Where the heck was it? Oh. See, this region over here, Italy's got a big old huge plasma, or a big old huge magma chamber underneath it. And I would expect to see some more activity in this area. And I was kind of wondering, I wonder if there's a good solid hot spot in this region, mainly just right here. But a lot of this is could be trapped water. I'm looking for a cold pocket right next to it too, because sometimes that's a little indicator. But look how dark, warm water it is in here. Ooh, look at this. The Caspian Sea, where we see all that sulfur coming out of. It's got a cold pocket right here in the middle, but look at this hot pocket right here at the other end. See, this is a little different. Something going on in the Caspian Sea there. All right, and then way up here at the top of the world, we're further north than Iceland over here, out in the ocean, way above Siberia, with this pocket here, and it's actually kind of died down in color and in intensity. It's still there, but it kind of was a little bigger and bright yellow, a little brighter yesterday, last couple of days. So that could be a little indicator that some pressure may have gotten released or something. But we got all this hot water going on way up here in the north where it's still, partially winter, springtime. All right. And then we got this plume that's just spreading hot water across the North Pacific now. All right. So there's that. Now let's get on over to the earthquake report and talk about today's 4.8. How about that? Does that not scream volumes? Let's just do our regular earthquake report first so it'll all make sense. All right, getting in there. Here's Fiji. Here's our deep region. Right here, we have a 4.5 down at 596. Okay, so mid-range deep one. We're used to seeing. Next to it is a 4.4 down at 494. Another mid-range deep one. Here we have our mid-range 5 at the surface. A little 116. It's down at 116, but a 5.6 here at the surface. Further down, we had 3 deep quakes right here. This is a 4.8 down at 487. 4.8. Hint, hint. All right. Now coming on over here at the surface, going into the system is 4.6 there at the surface. 4.7 there at the surface. Okay. Quiet through that region. Actually, this is the first time we've had a quake in this area in a while because this has been really quiet through this region. So first time we had a quake there in a while. Over here, this might be a deep one. 4.2 down at 152. So not too deep, but it's a little mid-range 4 there. Now off the island of Sumatra here is a 4.8. Hint, hint, 4.8. A lot of 4.8s. Let's come on up. Now, our quake of the day really is this. A 6.8 out here. We almost had another 7 right there. I'll pop this open and see if this has the same magnitude or one just a little bit higher. It says 4.8. Did you guys see what just happened there? I clicked on the 6.8. This says 4.8. Hint, hint. So your 6.8 / 4.8 had a little tsunami alert. Moving on. You saw that, right? I didn't make that shit up. That was their reporting. Okay, so here we go. 5.0 at the surface here. 4.6, 4.8, 4.3, 3, 5, 4.9, or a 5. Another 5. So a couple of 5s here today. A few 5s and a few mid-range 4s right there. Still relieving energy in this area. There's still pressure built up. We're still relieving energy there. That's more of a quake swarm than a typical quake with aftershocks. Out here off of the Japan, we got a 4.7 down at 10. Then over here, this is a new area. This is inside China here. 5.0 at the surface here. Now, in this region of pressure right there, come back here. SO2 just for you. Wake up and smell the rotten eggs. All right, so that area, boom, right on the edge of this mountain range, we're seeing 5 energy at the surface. So this energy that's coming in here, pushing inland too, is building up. See these pressure ridges that have built up from these plates? Okay, on this side of the ridges is where you get your weak zone along the foothills, weak zone along the foothills over here, and now we're seeing 5.0 activity there, which indicates a spot of weakness. Yes, China has weakness. They're showing weakness. Meanwhile, over here at the fulcrum point, we have a 5.8. That's even better. So you got energy on both sides pinching in here. So this area might light up here in a little while as well. No fulcrum point quake there today, but over here we had 3 of them. 4.4, these are surface, 4.4, and a 4.6. So a few of the mid-range 4s right here in Iran. Okay, now let's get to business over here. Real quick, just a new one, 4.4 off the coast of Japan here, and a 5.4 right here. That's our other hot region of hot water right there. So we're seeing the pressure in that area causing the hot water and causing earthquakes along this plate boundary right here. We got to watch this area. It's about to go off again, I think. Way off of the fulcrum point, way up here, off of Conchagna, is a 4.5. So we got mid-range 4 energy popping off right now as I speak. Right there and right here are 2 mid-range 4s that are brand new on the map. Oh, here's another one. What's this? Over here in the plate boundary of 5 at the surface right there. So we are currently having pressure as we speak. 3.3 right there. Coco's is a 5 at the surface there. Okay, now back to business. Let's get into this. I'm sure you heard everybody's report on it today, and you're probably wondering what I was going to say about it. I'm going to give it all magnitudes because there was more than 1 quake there today, folks. Can you see? There we go. Yeah. There we go. That kind of gives it more of a little sense of what's going on there. 4.8. 4.8. With a tsunami warning. These guys freak out at a mid-range 4. We're used to seeing mid-range 4s all the time. All of a sudden, they get a mid-range 4. Everybody freaking out. Well, they should be for good reason. Take note of the 4.8. I know how God works. He drops these numbers and these places as hints. White House Station, New Jersey. Telling you, I know how he works. 4.8 and the 4.8 on the other one, all these 4.8s, when we've got April 8th, which is 4/8 coming up, right in the zone, right where in the path. There are no coincidences. When I tell you there are no coincidences, this is exactly the perfect textbook example of no coincidences. 2.8, White House Station. You know, White House. Oh, yeah, all around the White House here. Look at all this activity. 4.8, 3.8. Okay, a lot of... If I were in the White House right now, I'd be a little bit nervous. All right, so there is your quake swarm. I don't need to tell you that this is an indicator of a weak spot where there could be potential in the future when we have a new thrust of energy, a new weak spot where we would see a big quake pop off or a flurry similar to this. This isn't over. This is just the pronouncement of a weak spot right now. 4.8 with April 8th coming around the corner, and it says White House. Oh, no, it says Gladstone. Yeah, White House. He dropped all kinds of hints, and I see what he's doing here. So everybody watch closely. God's hand is moving, and you can tell. You can tell. For those with eyes to see, the rest of you could just be like, oh, no, well, it's just a coincidence. Yuck, yuck. Mm-hmm. So, watch out in that area. Okay. New Jersey. So many people in that area right there. Whole island. So, you see how close it is? It's good that they're kind of freaking out a little bit. They should be freaking out a little bit. It's to get your attention. Anyways, there is that. And then we had this little guy, bingo, out here in Missouri. And here, in Oklahoma, 3.0 in Oklahoma. We all know what's going on out there. We got activity in Texas now. Let's come on over here to California. Zoom in a little bit here on our quake swarm area. Okay, so here at the geysers again, still relieving energy is a little quake swarm. All right, now that other region that looks just like this on the East Coast could possibly stay like this. We'll see. That could be a new weak spot, anyways. Just little spots around California, nothing too big there today. I think the rest of the map. Excuse me. I need to take a sip off my monster here. So back to this latest activity. 5 right here, mid-range 4. Mid-range 4 here as well. So we're seeing a little flurry of activity as we speak, okay? Also, when I was talking earlier this week about an increase in pressure, the increase in magnitude, here's an increase in magnitude, 6.8. I would call that an increase in magnitude, okay? We're used to seeing, mid-range 4 pop off, and then we got 5s at the surface. Up here, we have a 5.8. Over here, a new weak zone in China, possibly. Ooh, you know what we need to do there. You know what we need to do there. Oh, 1 day, all magnitudes. About 7 day, all magnitudes right there. Okay, so just the one quake for the moment, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see a little more activity come out of that region. Okay. So uptick in magnitude, a little uptick in activity. We're seeing the hot spot off of Japan having reactions with, mid-range 5s and 4s there. We got our spot here at Taiwan still popping off, okay? Its big quake was 5 today, so it's still got energy popping off down there. That tells me that pressure is still there. Even though we had a big release, it's still, we take on more as we release some. So it's just like this ongoing battle back and forth. 4.7 at the surface there. I think I covered that. Okay. All right. 4.8 day. Not much going on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Let's get on over to the volcano report. Alrighty. So 30 erupting, 20 in warning, and 31 in unrest. It's a total of 81 that are at least in unrest. Okay. The ones that are just going off and erupting are Fuego, Semeru, Requejanes, Revenador, Nevada del Ruiz, Sabancaya, Ebico, Spur. Spur. We got something new. Requejanes, still the eruption continues from 2 active craters and remains essentially unchanged. Ebico, an eruption there at 10,000 feet, getting higher at Ebico. Semeru, 15,000 feet again. It used to have its record was 14. Then we're seeing new blasts here at 15. So a couple of them. So now Semeru is a 15er. Increase in pressure. Now here we go. Spur, the Cook Inlet in southwest Alaska. The Alaska Volcano Observatory informed the seismic station at remote webcam. Anchorage started to receive signals from the volcano again as conditions have enhanced. Thick winter snow accumulated hindered the transmission of seismic data. And if we read more, we'll get an ad and then have to click out of that. So, the Spur in the Cook Inlet, southwest of Alaska, we got a new one coming to life. What was I telling you? All right, Fuego, 14,000. Nevada del Ruiz, that's on the semi-active list, is semi-active to 23,000 feet. That's, geez, if that's semi-active, I'd hate to see fully active. If 23,000 is just semi-active, what does it go to 64? Reventador, 14,000. Sabancaya, so high it was unable to detect. Now let's get in. Oh, that was the 4th, and that was the 5th. And we're already in the 6th. Let me just refresh this real quick. Fernandina, maybe later. Fernandina, the Galapagos Islands, still got these lava flanks, these lava arms coming down the flank of the volcano. Okay, so that one's still going. And that was all they had on that for the 6th. Okay. All right, so quick volcano report then. Let's get on over to the weather. Okay, let's get that sucker going. See this big old low pressure coming together there? We'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, yeah, that's going to be one big nasty storm again to watch out for, but that's further into the future there. Let all this data load up here real quick. Cool. Come on, one more. And go. All right. Here we are, current conditions, the nighttime of April 5th. You see this big low pressure growing right in this region right here, okay? Tight millibars right there. So that'll be the morning of the 6th, noon, convection. Now you see how this thing is turning and coming back this direction? We're going to have weather moving east to west. You got severe weather in the core of this with a 984 millibar right there. That'll be the nighttime with a 979. That's category 1. There's the morning time of the 7th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 8th. So morning of the 8th right there, noon. Now this is the time of the eclipse. So it's going right up through this region right here. And we're at noon. There's convection. So in between these two frames is when the eclipse is. So it might hinder some here in this region. There might be an opening in that area though. So by the convection of the 8th, we have severe weather here in Texas. Then it's off to the races. Once that eclipse is over, that shadow passes like this, it brings all this weather in its tail. So hint, hint. So there's the, no, I didn't say I play. Go back to right there. So the noon time of the 8th, there's 5 p.m. Pacific is 7 p.m. out there. All right. So that'll be sundown, the end of convection, the nighttime. So it blossoms at nighttime. We're getting serious, weather here with, the red means higher potential through Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, up into Missouri. There's the morning of the 9th, noontime, convection. See this convection down here in the tail kind of split. We have 2 zones here. The nighttime. Now we got blossoming nocturnal thunderstorms with these QLCSs that are going outward this way instead of coming down this way. All right, so from convection, nighttime, morning. That's really dangerous right there for the Mississippi-Alabama border right there. The morning time of the 10th. Even this stuff up into here. Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky. Well, not so much Kentucky, but what? All that region right there. And that can shift just a little bit. Now, as we reach the noontime, you see how it's swirling and we got our tail right here. This whole block right there is going to be very dangerous by the noontime of the 10th. There's the end of convection when it blossoms the hardest. Alabama, Georgia, northern Georgia, watch out. Then the nighttime of the 10th, okay, we're going to have nocturnal thunderstorms, nighttime tornadoes possible here through Panhandle of Florida, going up through Georgia, South Carolina. Even these speckled ones up in here in the main center of the low is unstable air too. Then we get to this stage. This is the morning of the 11th. All right, you can see how this is starting to rip away, but the tail is still, lingering down here. We have severe weather hitting the west coast there of Florida in the morning of the 11th. There's the noontime, convection, nighttime. Look how organized this thing wraps up like that with a 984. Look at this. So this will be the nighttime with severe weather in Massachusetts, Vermont, going back down into Long Island, New York area right there. So not only are they going to have the effects, but then they're going to have this nasty storm a couple of days later. Boom. Up into Maine there by the morning of the 12th. There's the noontime of the 12th, convection, nighttime of the 12th, morning of the 13th. Noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 14th. Noon, convection. Ooh, look at convection the 14th there. Nighttime. Uh-oh. So this convergence, this warm, moist air here and this cold air up in this pocket, watch as they come together. Boom. You get your storm front going this way now. And you also got little pop-ups way back down in here at the end of convection. And when it does this at nighttime, that is going to be dangerous. This big, long, quasi-linear storm front with all these pop-ups, banded, one out in front of another, That's the stuff that's very dangerous. Also popping out in front already, predicted way out in front here in Mississippi. So this whole effect, I pray, changes. Well, it could change to worse, but there would be the nighttime of the 14th. Very dangerous. And there's pockets of it way up in here in Michigan and stuff too. So don't be fooled when you see this stuff down here. You're not out of the strike zone up there either. Also down here, we got pop-ups coming up out of Mexico into Texas. All right, there is the morning of the 15th. So we're still going to have severe weather in that zone right there by the morning of the 15th. Kind of breaks away. Watch. Boom, boom, boom. It breaks away. We got this pocket of intense moisture down here in the Mississippi, Alabama. Again, you guys just again here in Alabama and Georgia, again at the convection of the 15th, just round after round for that region. So everybody prepare, pray for those people in that area, give them a heads up, because you never know, the telephone services might be down by then, or weather services. So that'll be noontime the 16th. Convection, nighttime, morning of the 17th, noon. Convection, nighttime, morning of the 18th, noon. Convection, nighttime, morning of the 20th, noon. Convection, nighttime. Nighttime pop up. Morning of that's morning of the 20th there. Sorry, that was the 19th back there. Yeah, morning of the 19th, noon. Convection, nighttime. Morning of the 20th, noon. Convection, nighttime. Morning of the 21st, noon. Again with Alabama, Mississippi, convection, nighttime. Oh, that was the last frame. So that last frame is the convection of the 21st, which is way out there. Main concerns are this big storm right here. It could change. That one dissipates, but the tail of it still comes back to life again and turns into another big storm there. So we got to watch that thing carefully. With the way activity is on the sun, all of this stuff could change pretty quickly too as well. So the placements of these severe outbreaks could shift by 100 miles, or 100 miles on this scale is minuscule. But if that's down on where you live, that could be a big difference between the town next to you and your town. So all this is getting close to happening, so we got to take it seriously here. And if we lose power or lose communications, you got to remember that on the 18th, or was it, say after the 8th, this event right here moves on out, dissipates, and there's the morning of the 9th, right? There's the convection of the 8th, morning or nighttime of the 8th now, okay? So convection, nighttime of the 8th. So say if there were a power outage, something happened during the eclipse and there was a power outage and no one had any weather reporting or any information. Well, think in the back of your mind, right after that shadow passes is going to be severe weather starting in Texas, Arkansas, going up into Illinois, Indiana in the morning of the 9th, kind of dissipates by noon, but then collects up back down again here, convection of the 9th. So the very next day after the eclipse at convection, they're going to have serious weather again, going into the nighttime of the day after the eclipse, the night after the eclipse, and into the morning of the 10th. Now, the 10th is going to be the ugly day. Ugly, 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 ugly. That's even the morning of the 11th. All right? So, just in case something happens, remember in the back of your mind, from the moment that shadow passes, it's going to be ugly for a minute there for everybody. And I want to point something else out, too. Right now, they are getting so much snow up in Maine. When we see these storms wrap up like this, we're always looking at the severe weather in this tail part. Don't forget about the wraparound snow on the backside. These are tight millibars, heavy, high winds. Okay, we got wraparound coming on shore again. All right, this is a 984. Is 984 still category 1? That has the strength of a category 1 storm with the storm surge, like we saw last time, lashing the coast, storm erosion, taking out docks, beach homes, their backyards, their windows and stuff like that because of storm surge from these storms now, okay? And you see severe weather here at the nighttime crossing the, very populated area of New York City, Long Island, Massachusetts, up into Vermont, Connecticut, even through the middle part of New York right here. Let me just zoom in. I can get one more dimension out of this frame here, I think. Can't I? I thought I could. One more, please. There it is. All right, so you get a little bit better idea of what to expect in this region in case the National Weather Service goes down, because it happened during their tornado outbreak, all right? So, and people in this region, give them a heads up. The media might not be warning people appropriately enough that, oh yeah, we got another nor'easter coming in. 14 people might die this time by trees and ice, and the power will be out, and it'll be chaos and mayhem after the eclipse. Everybody trying to get back home with all these nasty storms and trying to fly out. All right, so bing, 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 bing. You can still see the date up there. Yeah, okay. Let me get this position. All right, so once that shadow passes, there's right there. That's 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. So that's right before, I believe, the eclipse. So between that frame and this frame will be the eclipse, and then everything after that, boom, boom. There's a little split up of moisture. You see this part going up, and this kind of lingers back behind and then fires up again at convection on the 9th. And from there on, it's on through the nighttime of the 9th, morning of the 10th, noon, convection of the 10th, nighttime of the 10th, morning of the 11th, noon, convection, nighttime, and it finally kind of moves on through there. So everybody on the East Coast, everybody, when I look at that line, the shadow line, it's almost kind of indicating that everything that's, south of that line or the other side of that line is getting demolished. Because you notice how all of our weather's going right up and then taking everything out east of it. Like I said, I have a feeling that it's just going to be a marker, an indicator of what half of the country is going to have issues. What half of the country is going to have issues and what half of the country's not. Kind of see the resemblance here. If you put the right about there. There you go. We had a storm with 60,000 lightning strikes go right down the path of the shadow. And now we're having 4.8s all over the planet and in New York right there. That just screams of volumes when you understand how he works. All right, so that's it for your weather, volcano, terraphysics, astrophysics, and now we'll get into metaphysics with our spiritual report tonight. All right, so while you guys are looking at that, I gotta get my other stuff together now. Everything disappearing. Something I want to talk about too, this lightning strike here on the Statue of Liberty. Remember, I've been telling you about freedom, what real freedom is. Here's another sign. This God pointing out, hey, Statue of Liberty. All right. I pledge allegiance to the God who rescued the United States of America. And in order for this republic to stand as one nation under God, we need to be indivisible if we want liberty and justice for all. And you're seeing it on display, especially out of Hollywood and stuff. So while we're looking at that, let me X out of some of these instruments and get you guys motivated here. Not supposed to pledge allegiance to an inanimate object like a flag. You pledge allegiance to the God who rescued the United States of America. You guys know what happened in the War of 1812? You know that 4th of July is not our Independence Day. The British came back and took it back. And we were done. They set the White House on fire. They set the Capitol building on fire. They raided the Library of Congress. It was over. It was over. Until a freak storm came in and a tornado touchdown in Washington, D.C. A tornado touchdown in Washington, D.C., and the hail pelted the British troops so bad that they ran and scurried for cover and left. They left. The presiding rainstorm actually put the fire out in the White House and the Capitol building, which still stand to this day. Yeah, our country was gone. And if it wasn't for an act of God, you would not have your freedom. Okay? That's why I pledge allegiance to the God who rescued the United States of America. And in order for this republic to stand as one nation under God, we need to be indivisible. Do you understand why we need to be indivisible? Not divided? We need to be indivisible if we want liberty or any kind of justice for anyone. You see me? You hear me? You feel me? Now we're going to do some spiritual report. Okay? You see that 4.8 and all of this stuff started to happen right around the Revelation 12 star alignment. Do you know what happened about a month prior to the Revelation 12 star alignment? Was the first eclipse. Okay? So the first eclipse happens. I have all this weird spiritual stuff start happening to me around September 10th. Then 13 days later, we have the actual star alignment. A 2,000-year-old prophecy came true in the heavens. Only God could do that. All right? And then we got other images to pull up. I'm just sitting here. Blah, 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 blah. Well, we could be pulling stuff up. So, a little bit of history. They don't teach you that in school. Why don't they teach you the Constitution and what your rights are? The Bill of Rights. Every student should have the Bill of Rights memorized. Every student should have the Constitution memorized. That's what our founding freedom, that's what our documents are. Instead, they hide that information from you. They don't want you knowing your rights, so they can go around violating your rights all day long, and you will go, oh, it's just the way it is, I guess. Yuck, yuck. No, that's not the way it is. And things are going to change. Things are going to change. All righty. Let's take a look at our Lord and Savior showing up on Easter in the clouds as promised. Another 2,000-year-old prophecy come true. What you are looking at is a real miracle. All right? That's why it looks weird. It's in the clouds. It's him with a crown. Tilt your head. It happened on Easter. I was led to this spot with a incident prior to that. You guys all know this part. All right? Real stuff happening. Okay? We are in that time frame. Are there not wars and rumors of war? Are there not earthquakes in diverse places? Isn't every single sign there? Aren't we seeing signs I show you those signs here on this channel, the signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. And here we have an event on April 8th that includes sun, moon, and stars, all three in one. You know who's also three in one? Yeah, three in one. It seems to be a theme, huh? That's how you can tell his handiwork. There are no coincidences. Everything is part of the grand design. Let me repeat: grand design, divine design. Okay? It's a divine design. You aren't here because a couple of chemicals mixed in a mud puddle and some lightning struck it. No, 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 no. You are divine entities, and you need to know your place and how important you are. So, everybody, take a nice, long, deep breath right now. I need to, too, as well. Think about your liberty right there and what it means to you. A lot of soldiers, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears we've been through in our history for our freedom. And so we got some criminals that just want to come swooping in and take it all away. And that's what they are. They're criminals. And every single act of theirs has been witnessed in the courts above. Know that their activities have been witnessed, every single one of them. Just like videotape, whatever, but even better, in the court above. So they got some worrying to do while you guys can relax here with me, okay? So, couple of deep breaths, get into your little spot. The thing that it is that you like to do at this part of the show. Here, just real quick. Let's see if we can do this real quick. Hi. Yeah, I'm a person. And, see my hairline? All right, see that funky dun 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 McDonald's type hairline thing? Oh, it's the same one that guy's got right there too. All right, so I'm talking to you, the people that are at this channel watching this, okay? You are on the path of my choosing. There is no randomness about your life. Here and now comprise of the coordinates of your daily life. Most people let their moments slip through their fingers. What did I say after that one? Okay. How did that get mixed with this one? All right, let me start again. You are on the path of my choosing. There is no randomness about your life. Here and now comprise the coordinates of your daily life. Most people let their moments slip through their fingers half-lived. They avoid the present by worrying about the future or longing for a better time and place. They forget that they are creatures who are subject to the limitations of time and space. They forget their creator who walks with them only in the present. Okay? Can't walk with you in the future. I walk with you in the present. Every moment is alive with my glorious presence to those whose hearts are intimately connected with mine. So, every moment is alive with my glorious presence to those whose hearts are intimately connected. As you give yourself more and more to a life of constant communion with me, you will find that you simply have no time for worry. Thus, you are freed to let my spirit direct your steps, enabling you to walk along the path of peace. Okay? Freed. You are freed. Freedom, Statue of Liberty. Ugh, wait till you find out what's inside of it. It's going to crush your dreams too. In fact, that's the point I need to make here. Let's take a second here and stop for a minute. Now, When I was a kid growing up, our dreams were, to grow up and be whatever you wanted to be, right? We had freedom back in those days. These days, kids have different dreams and different aspirations. So, listen to this. I have been trying to avoid the information that's coming out about these rappers and what happened what's been going on in the music industry this whole time. Okay. It's a very ugly picture. It's a very ugly industry. Same with the movie industry. Same with the politicians, too. They all have to do to get where they're at, too. So, yeah, you'll find out all this stuff here. But what I witnessed was young black men losing their minds because their rapper. Oh no, don't tell me Dog is caught up in this too. No, no, not him too. No. And then I hear them crying, he's taking out everyone. And he is. He's taking out everyone. And those people idolized, those were their heroes. And now they're finding out that their heroes were animals and monsters and homosexuals. They talk all tough, big gangbanger, I'm going to come shoot you. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, they're doing sexual favors to get their position. And they're usually homosexual favors. Okay. Now all of a sudden your heroes have all become zeros. Yeah, all these rap artists and movie stars, and wait until the politicians come out. Oh, wait until it all comes out. It's so incestuous and nasty that you will cry too when you're going to find out one of the people that you like. You're like, no, don't tell me they were part of it too. Yep. So there's going to be lots of disappointments, lots of crying over people's heroes being crushed and smashed and their dreams being, lost. Well, here we have a different situation. Here we have a real hero, not somebody who brags and is all boisterous. No, 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 no. This is a man who died for you. He's the real hero. And everybody's getting the limelight and getting the spotlight and all the attention for their bad behavior. Yet here's a hero, the good guy, come to rescue the day. Nobody gives a damn. Pretty amazing, though. You guys don't have to worry about your hero letting you down. You will never get that sensation of, no, don't tell me, oh God, oh, that he was, because you have a righteous hero, okay? So while you're watching this house of cards crumble, just be thankful that you're not part of it. And, who would idolize some of these rappers or these movie stars, and now their dreams are shattered and crushed. They can no longer enjoy the music. They can no longer look at their favorite star. Something I really feel bad for Taylor Swift. How long has she been in the industry, and how long has she been center stage? I gotta do a lot of payments to make center stage for that long. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, you don't have to go through that feeling of your hero being what we're seeing. Okay, and it's a good example. That's the Lord giving you an example of who not to choose and who you can put your trust in. Right? You're gonna put your trust in some rapper. Where's he gonna be when all this goes down? Oh, you're gonna be behind bars or embarrassed in the Hall of Shame or something, where you guys will have victory instead. Okay? Okay. Most people let their moments slip through their fingers half-lived. They avoid the present by worrying about the future or longing for a better place and time. They forget that they're creatures who are subject to the limitations of time and space. They forget their creator who walks with them in the present. Every moment is alive with my glorious presence. to those whose hearts are intimately connected with mine. So as you give yourself more and more to a life of constant communion with me, you will find that you simply have no time for worry. Thus, you are freed to let my spirit direct your steps, enabling you to walk along the path of peace. Huh. You guys are walking on a path of peace, huh? While everybody else is in turmoil. Living in dependence on me is the way to enjoy abundant life. How do you enjoy abundant life, Brian? By living in dependence on me. You are learning to appreciate tough times because they amplify your awareness of my presence. Okay? Your tough times are amplifying your awareness of my presence, and you are learning to appreciate those tough times because they do amplify your awareness of my presence with you here right now. Tasks that you used to dread are becoming rich opportunities to enjoy my closeness. Have you guys experienced that yet? I know some of you are, but I'm asking that because I want you to ask yourself that again. Has this taken effect yet? Are the tasks that you used to dread becoming rich opportunities to enjoy my closeness? All right. Sorry about that. Because when they are, it's starting to work. So tasks that you used to dread are now becoming rich opportunities to enjoy my closeness. When you feel tired, you remember that I am your strength, and then you end up taking pleasure in learning and leaning on me. Okay, so when you're feeling tired, you remember, oh, Jesus is my strength, and then you take pleasure in leaning on me. I'm pleased when your tendency to turn to me more and more frequently. Okay, so when you realize I'm your strength and you take pleasure in leaning on me, I'm pleased by your tendencies to turn to me more and more frequently, especially when you are alone. See, when you are with other people, you often lose sight of my presence. Your fear of displeasing people puts you in bondage to them, and they become your primary focus. When you realize this has happened, whisper my name. This tiny act of trust brings me to the forefront of your consciousness where I belong. Okay? A lot of this stuff is just to bring me to the forefront of your consciousness. It's the trick that you need that will help you during tough times. Okay, you're having a moment. I was having moments all day today. Today tested me beyond what I thought I had, and it's still going. It's just I'm still being tested. So that's why it's important that you figure this out. And when you're feeling tired, remember that I am your strength. Then take pleasure in leaning on me, because when you do that, I'm pleased by your tendencies to turn to me more and more frequently, especially when you're alone. Okay. Your fear of displeasing people puts you in bondage to them, and they become your primary focus. All right. Today I got caught in a guilt trap. I tried to do a nice thing for somebody, and it backfired on me, and I got blamed for it turning out bad when I was doing a good thing for somebody, and now I feel guilty because it ruined somebody else's experience when that wasn't my intent. So they want me to feel bad, so they give a guilt trip. You guys know what a guilt trip is, right? You've experienced that stuff, right? That's what we're trying to help you with, all right? Because I get caught in it, and praying. I've got my hand over there. I'm grabbing my sweatshirt in the shotgun seat, going, Jesus, I got you by the hand. Help me. Here we go. So, when you feel tired, remember that I'm your strength. Take pleasure in leaning on me. Your fear of displeasing people puts you in bondage to them, and they become your primary focus. When you realize this has happened, whisper my name. This tiny act of trust brings me to the forefront of your consciousness. A lot of these times, that's all we're trying to do, just to get that to the forefront of your consciousness. It relieves your mind, and then you can pray about what your next step should be, okay? And then as you bask in the blessings of my nearness, my life can flow through you to others. And when that happens, when my blessings and my nearness are flowing through you to others, that is abundant life. When my spirit is flowing through you and reflecting off of you and affecting others and starts to flow into others, that's what abundant life is. That's when you feel good. That's when you're happy. It's not when you're a Hollywood star with, 15 cars. What else did I have here? Okay, so you cannot serve two masters. If I am truly your master, you will desire to please me above all others. If pleasing people is your goal, you will be enslaved to them. People can be harsh taskmasters when you give them this power over you. Okay? Now, there's the guilt trip thing again. I gave them the power over me. That's where it gets hard. You cannot give your power over to other people. So, you cannot serve two masters. If I am truly your master, you will desire to please me above all others. If pleasing people is your goal, and I'm a people pleaser, I've been one my whole life, and it's hard not to. When I'm not pleasing people, I feel as if I'm being an a-hole. I feel guilty if I'm not trying to keep people happy, pleasing people. So, that's why it's so hard. If pleasing people is your goal, you will be enslaved to them. People can be harsh taskmasters when you give them this power over you, and then they will throw it back into your face and give you the guilt trip, making you feel bad for them not taking responsibility. All right. So very, very, very important stuff. The reason why I'm reading this to you is because I am experiencing it today. All right. I am telling you guys real life stuff that I just went through today, and I go through my notes and I found where I figured out how it applies and where to work it. All right. So one more time. If pleasing people is your goal, you will be enslaved to them. People can be harsh taskmasters when you give them this power over you. If I am the master of your life, I will also be your first love. Your serving me is rooted and grounded in my vast, unconditional love for you. The lower you bow down before me, the higher I lift you up into intimate relationship with me. Do you understand? The lower you bow down before me, the higher I lift you up into intimate relationship with me. The joy of living in my presence outshines all other pleasures. I want you to reflect my joyous light by living in increasing intimacy with me. Meet me in the morning stillness while the air and the earth is fresh and the dew of my presence is around. Worship me in the beauty of holiness. Sing love songs to my holy name. And as you give yourself to me, my spirit swells within you. So as you give yourself to me, my spirit swells within you until you are flooded with divine presence. Okay? Flooded with divine presence as you give yourself to me. Okay? Pretty easy stuff. As you give yourself to me, my spirit swells within you until you are flooded with divine presence. The world's way of pursuing riches is grasping and hoarding. You attain my riches by letting go and giving. The more you give yourself to me and my ways, the more I fill you with inexpressible heavenly joy. Inexpressible heavenly joy. Bingo. How does he do that? He might be the guy he says he is. How does he do that? The present moment is the point at which time intersects eternity. Okay, the present moment is the point at which time intersects eternity. It is also the place where you can encounter me, your eternal Savior. So keep your thoughts focused on the present as much as you can, enjoying my presence here and now. Invite me into whatever you're engaged in. Ask me to help you do your work heartily. Working collaboratively with me lightens your load and enables you to be more effective. Okay? Working collaboratively with me. Okay? We do our best work when we work together. Working collaboratively with me lightens your load and enables you to become more effective. Effective. It's all about being effective. What good is all that work when it's not effective? So working in collaboration with me lightens your load and enables you to be more effective. Share with me not only your work, but also your leisure, thanking me for both. Okay? Both work and leisure. Work hard, play hard. Okay? And then thank me for it. Thank me hard. I'll give you more. When some things upset you, don't let fearful or obsessive thoughts take over your mind. Instead, talk with me about whatever is troubling you. Then cast all your anxiety on me. Do you hear me? I want you guys to talk with me about what is troubling you so you can cast all of your anxiety. I want every last drop of your anxiety. I love that stuff. I gobble it up, and that's what keeps me going. All right? Give me all of your anxiety. Cast all of it on me, knowing that I care for you. Okay? Everybody take a big, deep breath over that one. Ah, there goes all my anxiety. Phew. Oh, cool. I got it now. All right, good. Because I care for you. If you ask, I will open your eyes and awaken your heart so you can see more fully all that the present contains. All right? One more time. If you ask, I will open your eyes and awaken your heart so you can see more fully all that the present contains, the present moment contains, okay? I will open your eyes and awaken your heart so you can see more fully all that the present contains. I delight in meeting with you in your wide awake heart. I came into the world so that you may have life in abundance until it overflows. Do you hear me? I want overflowing out there. Trusting me is the alternative to falling into despair or escaping into unreality. Do you hear me? Trusting me is the alternative to falling into despair or escaping into unreality. When you're in the midst of adversity, it can be hard to think clearly. Yet this is when it's vitally important to make wise decisions. Sometimes it's as if choices are swirling around you, waiting for you to reach out and grab one, right? However, there is one choice that is always appropriate and always effective. Again, the word effective. That choice is the decision to trust me with all your heart and mind. Okay? So, sometimes it's as if choices are swirling around. You're waiting to reach out and grab one. But there is one choice that is always effective. The decision to trust me with all your heart and mind. Okay? If you're on the verge of sliding into the depths of despair, stop and declare your trust in me. It's the moment you do that, it's for your own mind. It relieves a little valve in your mind, okay? So if you're on the verge of sliding into the depths of despair, stop and declare your trust in me. Whisper it, speak it, shout it. Spend some time thinking about all the reasons you have for being confident in me. No, not that one. No, we're sticking with that one tonight. All right. So, if you're on the verge of sliding into the depths of despair, stop. Just declare your trust in me. Whisper it, speak it, or shout it. That's all that it takes sometimes. All right. It's time, and then spend time thinking about all the reasons you have for being confident in me. All right. Being confident. Once you got it confident, the anxiety kind of slips away. Okay. Remember and rejoice in my endless, unfailing love for you. If you've been numbing your pain through denial of reality, expressing your trust can bring you into contact with the ultimate reality, me. Confide in me, beloved, for I am infinitely knowing. I understand everything about your circumstances, and I will help you. I will help you. Doesn't this help? Everything that we're doing here? Haven't I helped you? How does he do that? There is one choice that is always appropriate and effective: the decision to trust me with all your heart. You have reason for being confident. Remember and rejoice my endless, unfailing love for you. If you've been numbing your pain through denial of reality, everybody's in denial of reality right now, okay? Except for a few people here at this channel. But the rest of the world's kind of in a denial of reality, okay? So if you've been numbing your pain through denial of reality, expressing your trust can bring you into contact with the ultimate reality. See, this is the ultimate reality right here, the spiritual realm. This is eternal. What you're in is temporal and will only last a split second in all of eternity. So this is not reality. This is just a quick little movie. Then it'll be back to reality once this movie's over. See what I'm saying? This is the ultimate reality. I understand everything about your circumstances, and I will help you. Okay, this one's my favorite right here. So let me get a sip and take a deep breath here. Okay, let me try to slap all these notes into the one smooth thing. It is only as you and I work together that anything really works. When what you are doing is displeasing to me, I come alongside you, helping you in your endeavor. Sometimes you're aware of my empowering presence, and other times you're not. But the more you turn to me for guidance and help, the more blessings I shower on you. Some of the blessings are work oriented, others are matters of the heart. Awareness of my presence should increase your sense of security and fill you with joy. Okay? I want you guys to memorize this. Awareness of my presence should increase your sense of security and fill you with joy. It does. It does increase your sense of security and it does fill you with joy. So, practice this. Awareness of my presence should increase your sense of security and fill you with joy. Okay? Because I'm trying to train you. I'm training you to look for me wherever you are in all situations. Okay? That's the hardest part. I am training you to look for me wherever you are in all situations. There will be times when you have to look through your circumstances to find signs of my radiant presence. Oh, it's like this. Imagine gazing through a dirty window into a gorgeous sun-drenched garden. If you focus on the dirt that's on the glass, you'll miss the exquisite beauty of the garden. Okay? Imagine gazing through a dirty window into a gorgeous garden. But if you focus on the dirt that's on the glass, you'll miss the exquisite beauty of the garden. So just as you can train your eyes to see the splendor beyond the window, you can learn to look through your circumstances and see my face shining upon you. Seek and you will find me everywhere. Try it. You'll find me everywhere. In the music, every song, every movie, everything, everywhere. Okay, this is like my best notes right here. This is my favorite page. Okay, I'm gonna read it again a little smoother, a little quicker. It's only as you and I work together that anything really works. When what you're doing is displeasing to me, I come alongside you, helping you in your endeavor. Sometimes you're aware of my presence, sometimes you're not. But the more you turn to me for guidance and help, the more blessings I shower on you. Some of the blessings are work-oriented and others are matters of the heart. Awareness of my presence should increase your sense of security and fill you with joy. It should. If it doesn't, then you're not aware of my presence. Because true awareness of my presence increases your sense of security and fills you with joy. I am training you to look for me wherever you are in all situations. The sooner you get that into your mind, the easier your life becomes. I am training you to look for me in everywhere, in every situation. There will be times when you look through your circumstances like it's dirty glass. But when you're doing that, you're missing the garden in the background, okay? So don't focus so much on the dirty glass. Look through it, okay? And look at the garden. That's the world, the life that you have. And just as you train your eyes to see the splendor through the window, now you can learn to look through, like through that dirty window. Now you're looking through your circumstances. Your circumstances are now that dirty window, and you're looking through your circumstances, and you're seeing, instead of the garden, you see my face shining upon you. If you focus on the dirt that's on the glass, you'll miss it. Just as you can train your eyes to see the splendor beyond the dirty window, you can learn to look through your circumstances and see my face shining upon you. Okay? I should have closed with that one, but I got more. All right, this, I want you guys to have comfort with this. I know about every one of your troubles. I have collected all of your tears and preserved them in my bottle. So don't be afraid of tears or of the hardships that cause them. Your problems are not random or meaningless. I'm calling you to trust not only in me, but also in my sovereignty. I know what I'm doing. But because my perspective is infinite, which is unlimited by space or time, my ways of working in the world are often beyond your comprehension. If it were possible for you to see things from my perspective, you would understand the perfection of my will. You guys are starting to see that. You're starting to get glimpses from my perspective. You're seeing that strength is built out of adversity, and you're still seeking joy in your adversity, knowing that it's making you stronger. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. My perspective is infinite. It's unlimited by space or time. Wait until your perspective is unlimited by space and time, and then you will be able to see what's beyond your comprehension. Okay? Now, back to where I was. My ways of working in the world are often beyond your comprehension. If it were possible for you to see things from my God perspective, you would understand the perfection of my will and revel in my glory. But now you see only a poor reflection, so you must learn to live with mystery. I have collected your tears in my bottle because you are exceedingly precious to me. Because you are exceedingly precious to me. And someday I will wipe every tear from your eyes, and there will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. So rejoice in this glorious heavenly future that's awaiting you. Okay? No more death, no more mourning, no more crying, and no more pain. I will wipe every tear from your eyes. The only tears you'll have will be tears of joy, and we'll collect those up as well. All right, so I think that's it for tonight. Yeah, how the mighty have fallen. The Hollywood elite and all this music industry stuff is going to get very ugly. Do not get too caught up in it. You'll have some negative thoughts that go through your head when you should be praying, because they know not what they do they? They have no clue. But guess what? You guys got a little inside secret. You guys can kind of, have a little sense of security in the back of your head, knowing, oh, these guys are going to get it. These guys are going to get it. And it's in this courtroom, we use the evidence that came right through your own eyes, ears, your five senses. That's what's the evidence. And you can't change what you've seen, heard, done, said in the past. So that's all the evidence going to be used in the court above for some of these people that don't repent. I'm happy to forget about your sins. I'd rather forget about them because some of them are just so bad. And I'm just thankful that I have this opportunity. I'm thankful for what happened to me. This eclipse coming up. You guys should really do your homework on it. There's so much coming together. I have given you a lot of the pieces and stuff together already. But when you start to see those earthquakes, 4.8 out there, he is so mad at New York City and Washington, D.C. I feel him. I know him well. He is very upset with those two places, and for good reason. They've stolen your rights. They've violated your rights. They've stolen all your money, and they use it to traffic children, molest them, and do drug dealing and weapons sales. What good are they? They're criminals. And there's a new sheriff in town. And they're about to find out. And they're shaking in their boots. They're declaring emergencies all along the path of the eclipse. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, I sure love you guys. I sure miss you guys. You guys have nothing to worry about. You're finding that the more you trust in me, that the more peace you get, huh? Oh, you're welcome, Surfer Girl. Thanks so much for the readings, Brian. Much love and peace and blessings to you, Brian. And to the chat, thank you, Surfer Girl. Let's say thank you to Leslie and Spiritual Wackadoo. Oh, yeah! I've been waiting for you to get here. Where are you? Come back here, you. You see that? You see that? Here, you're still here? Good. Watch this. Here, watch this. If you see that, I want you to see this too. Here. You still here? Spiritual Wackadoo, please put something in the chat if you're still here. Yep, yeah, I thought you were. All right, you see this lion face right here? See that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like, line. With the nose right here. Sorry. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face. Now, good. Right off the rip, you saw it? Good. That means you have spiritual eyes. This happened in the clouds, and it was so big. And most people see the face, they see the crown, and they go, "Oh, those are just clouds." Can you imagine that? The level of denial that they live in. Oh, nope, that's just cloud. Yeah, nothing to see there. Oh, it happened on Easter. Oh, that's just a coincidence. You know, oh, there was something showed up the day before in that same spot. In fact, you know what? Let's go a little overtime. You guys are still here. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go wake up call. So we had the first eclipse back in 2017. Okay, it was in August of 2017. What, the 28th, I think? Oops, wrong one. Back up. Not your wake up call, just wake up call. There we go. All right, you still here with me? All right. He knows who he is. So, anyways, back in September, you'll see it cause a third flare. Boom. Here's our object right here. This looks like Nibiru. Hang on, let me largen this real quick. All right. Note this date. This is September 10th of 2017. This is what 2 weeks after the eclipse, after the first eclipse. 2 weeks after the first eclipse, God shows me Nibiru and Nemesis. Now watch this. Got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. Run this backwards so you can see it goes backward. All right, let me get you right here to this little opening shot of Nibiru right here. Okay, we're having plasma coming off the north part of the sun. We're having plasma coming off the bottom part of the sun. We're having a complete circuit. Okay, if you know anything about electricians and electricity and circuitry, there's a complete circuit when this thing crossed a electromagnetic boundary, one of the little boundary areas. It caused this thing to ignite. Also, I want you guys to see here is the other wing on the other side. It's kind of blended in there a little bit, but there's a corresponding curling little wing going back right over here on this side. So there's your fabled winged planet Nibiru. Now, I wasn't a Nibiru guy, all right? I've been tormented by UFO activity my whole life, so I was a ufologist, all right? And when I was shown this by God, literally shown this by God, my whole life changed. This was the day. September 10th was the day my life changed violently. I don't mean like as in violence. It changed 180. If you could do 180 cubed or squared, that would be a whole 360 and go in the same direction. No, it's like 180 backwards, upside down, inside out. So that's the day my day changed, my life changed, September 10th, 2017. And if you read the prophecy, it says the dragon stood in front of the woman. This is the dragon standing in front, standing before the woman 13 days before. Here's the dragon standing 13 days before the woman on September 23rd, 13 days after this day. God showed me this. He showed me Nibiru. He showed me Nemesis, the big one back behind it. It's right here. Am I for real? Yeah, I'm 1,000% real. I'm more real than you are. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. So here's your big binary star, burned out stellar core. Matches the definition of neutron star, black hole. It has so much mass that it bends and absorbs light. This light is splashing over the top of it, much like a tablecloth over an invisible table. Now, if you're having trouble seeing that three-dimensional image, I have drawn it for you so you can see. And this was actually stamped into the fields, crop circles of this formation right here. Right there. Let me pull back a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Here's the plasma coming off the top of the sun. It's hitting this thing. It's as it hits a spheroid object, it spreads out in a circular fashion. And here's that round circular damage ring. midway spreading out and over this. All right. So that's the image that you're seeing back behind there. It's a three-dimensional, space is three-dimensional, and we're trying to view it on a two-dimensional screen. All right. So now hopefully you see what I'm pointing out there. The size of the sun that's creepy. Creepy. This would give you a heart attack if you understood what this thing is, what it really is. This is what gives men heart attacks, okay? When they see this. I bet you the first time somebody at NASA saw this thing, they dropped dead. The size of our sun is this white circle. The size of our sun is this white circle, not the black one. This is bigger than our sun. Like by a lot. Like it's sucking plasma off the sun. It's bigger than our sun. You stick out like a sore thumb? Oh, cool. Anyways, boom, boom, boom. You can see we have our Nemesis and Nibiru showing up just as predicted in the Bible. It stood in front of the woman 13 days before. It stood before the woman 13 days before. Then we had our Revelation 12 star alignment, all which was kicked off by the first eclipse. Then we had a second eclipse, okay? This will be the third eclipse. Now, when we talk about 3 days of darkness, I'm going to tell you that they are not 3 days in a row like everybody assumes or like Hollywood portrays. 3 days of darkness. The first time they ever saw an eclipse, they didn't know what it was, right? They thought the sun was going out in the middle of the daytime. It was known as a day that had darkness during it. A day that had darkness during it, or a day of darkness. 3 days of darkness are the 3 eclipses. They are 3 days of darkness. All right. Also, here we are. I want you to see if we can get this date in there. This is October 4th of 2017. Okay. This is in my garage, taken by my security camera. This is 2 weeks after, or 11 days after the Revelation 12 star alignment, where she was about to give birth. The dragon showed up to devour the child, right? Everybody following me here? She was about to give birth. 11 days later, this winds up in my garage. Let's dive on in here, shall we? Just bear with me for a second here. Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye. Here's her forehead. Let me big screen a little bit better there. All right, let me get back to it. Head, her snub little nose. Here's the bottom jaw. She's smiling. She's looking down and she's holding a baby. And here's the baby's head right here. Here's the face, the back of the head. Here's her arm cupped around like this. And she's holding the baby. Now I'm going to run this through the filter real quick, and it's going to enhance it, but a little bit too much. But see, now you can really make out her profile a lot better and see her face, and her headdress is coming over and going down back behind her. And you can still make out the baby's head right here. And maybe if I pull back a little bit, there we go. And this was captured on October 4th. So this was about 11 days after the Revelation 12 sign. All this stuff started happening to me just prior to the Revelation 12 sign and then right after it. So it said the woman was about to give birth. Well, it looks like maybe she gave birth, and here's the little baby being caught up to God. Yep. It's a lot better there. Hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better now than before. We'll undo the filter real quick just so you can get the original. Now you can see the baby's head just a little bit better. You can make out his little ear. And then we'll put the filter back in again. And there we go. There's your Revelation 12 baby being born right there in my garage, caught on my security camera. Does anybody understand who the Revelation 12 baby is? Do you know who that spiritual entity right there that you're looking at is? He's to rule with an iron rod. That's your new king right there. That's a spiritual being born in my garage, caught on my security camera 11 days after the star alignment. There's your Revelation 12 baby being born in my manger. Okay, now let's take you back to the day after this when I was a wreck. Running them through the filter, and this was one of the first ones that I had ever captured. And what's going on here is I'm here on my knees. I'm crying and screaming and praying, all three at once. Anguish. I was in some extreme anguish. A paranormal traumatic event happened to me, something so unbelievable you guys wouldn't believe it. So if I told you, so I'm going to show you instead. Yeah, I'm going to show you instead. Here, I'm sitting here praying, and Mary's head appears right next to my head, and we're going to zoom in on this. You can't go in too tight on it, but she's looking down at my head this way. Let's see, there's pretty good. And you can make out her eye and her nose coming down, her shawl coming over, and it's in shadow right here. This is a shadow of the inside of her shawl going over her head like this. Here's her eye, her nose, her other eye would be on the other side there. Okay. You can't go in too tight on it. And then also is this white ball with an eye in it, this white orb with an eye in it. The God eye. Okay, and that's not all, because over here in this corner up here is an angel. The silhouette of an angel with his wings spread, with his back to us, standing in a shaft of light. Here's his head. There's a glow over the head. The wings are extended, and there's a feather coming off. The last feather coming off is crossing over these brown roof tiles in the background here. And you can make out there's an angel right here, and you can even see his head right here. Going a little bit tighter. So there's the angel with his back to us and his wings spread. Yeah, you can see a lot better with the filter. Before it was really faint and it was hard to see. Same with this. This came out a little bit better here. Guess what's going on here? There's more than going on here than meets the eye. You see Mary? Yeah, there's Mary looking down at my head because I was in anguish. I mean, what happened to me was just so disturbing. I can't even describe it. I was... Here, let's just go back to this. All right, so when we got this image right here from the beginning, right there, we got Mary, God, an angel. Well, usually when you got these three entities together, Jesus is somewhere too. He's in this picture if you know what to look for. Okay? So let's just real quick, we'll finish off with that real quick right there. Screaming and praying, an experience I'd never felt before. All three of them at the same time. It was just terrible. But what happened was I was out in my garage and praying, and my security camera captured this image, and it wasn't until a few days later that I went back through my. All right, so this is an anointing ceremony. This is an anointing. The day before, the spiritual entity was born in my garage. This is an anointing ceremony. Is it making sense to you guys now a little bit? This is all captured on security camera, admissible as evidence in a court of law. You can take the originals and do whatever you want and try to see if they're faked or whatever. They're not. This is the real deal. That's why you get real relief here. Let's go on to this cute little angel as well. Oh, after an ad, the watch list. Great. All right. There you go. Pay attention. Show you this one. This is an angel that was captured on my security cameras, and now I've run it through the filter here. So if you turn your head to the right about 45 degrees, you can make out the head, the hair, the breasts, it's a female, the torso, the waist, the legs coming down here, a wing coming off here, a wing coming off over here. Let's bring that up just a tad bit bigger and describe it again. Legs coming down here, a wing coming 5-degree filter here. So if you turn your head to the right about 45 degrees, you can make out the head, the hair, the breasts, it's a female, the torso, the waist, the legs coming down here, a wing coming off here, a wing coming off over here. And we'll zoom in on this real quick because this one's nice and clear that you can. Okay, and this is an angel that was caught hovering in a shaft of light over this sleeping child down below here. So, zoom in on it again. Just excited that you can see it a lot clearer now because before it was kind of faint. And now with these filters, I'm able to make these images pop a little bit more that you can. Pull back out a little bit. This is an angel that was caught hovering in a shaft of light over this sleeping child. All right, right there, you can see it pretty well. You know what the implications of this mean, right? This is the spiritual realm, captured for real on a security camera that's admissible as evidence in a court of law. You're seeing a real angel. That is the spiritual realm. That spiritual realm is real. It's more real than your reality is. Here, I got more. So all this activity keeps happening after the star alignment. Okay, I got angels and all kinds of stuff popping up on my security cameras. Also get attacked by demons and stuff as well, and Satan. And I would show you that one, but it just, I don't want to run off everybody. So, but you can come over here and look at this one right here, demons, principalities, and Satan, and you'll see me getting attacked. The fiery darts that talk about in the Bible, boom. He's there. He's a real entity spitting at me. I would show it if you guys want me to, but let's move on to this. Actually, you know what we can do here first, without having to go too deep into it. Let's come back to this because it's important you see something. Sound? Hello? So I've been going through some more of these pictures and running them through the filter and stuff. And not only were we finding angels and Mary and stuff, but there's also demons, and I've also found Satan in this stuff too. So as we're looking here at this picture, what I'm talking about is in this mosaic of blotchy white dots that you see this picture is comprised of. When you zoom in really tight in on a picture, you'll see that it's made up of these splotchy little patches and dots. These new digital cameras make these little blotches. Well, hiding in these blotches are faces. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's an eye right here and an eye right here. And when you make eye contact with these two eyes right here, you'll see the mouth fall into place down here. It's snarling. If you look, it's got some kind of streaks or horns or something or wrinkles coming out of its head up here. And this is some kind of demon
or principality. You know, other people refer to them as principalities, but this is what I'm talking about, and hopefully you can see this here. This is a pupil right here of an eye. This is a pupil of a bigger eye. Here's the whites of the eye, the white of this eye. These two eyes. Once you look at those, you'll see it falls into place. Maybe I'll pull back a little bit. You can see a little bit better. Zoom in. Right about there is good. And you can make out there's teeth here in this mouth. There's a corresponding mouth with these eyes, wrinkles going across the nose here. This is some kind of demon or principality.
Electromagnetic imprint on the photos, just like an electromagnetic voice print on audio. Here we're catching the spiritual realm with our cameras. Okay. Here, let's do this one too as well.
In this sequence here, I've got my camera pointed at the couch now because I've been capturing activity around this couch. And one night I was just sitting on my couch there praying and wasn't really thinking of capturing anything. Here I was just sitting here praying before I started taking pictures or doing my thing, and it was already running. And lo and behold, there's some kind of demon up here. You'll see some green wings over here kind of flapping. And it lifts up my bike and spits a bolt of energy on it. And I had no idea this happened until I went back through my pictures and stuff. And I put this series into motion in a flip book. And I realized, oh my goodness, look what happened. It picked up my bike and spit a bolt of energy on it. This one, you can't really see the face too well, but you can make out the wings kind of flapping. We'll pull it over a little this way a little more. There we go. And this thing turns, picks up my bike, lifts it up, and spits a bolt of energy on it. Okay, there's that. I'll let you look at that one for a second longer. Okay, in this series here, I'm sitting on the couch again praying, camera set up, and you'll see a purple streak, a bolt come in here, right there, boom, and it hurt. You can see my reaction to it. So we'll let it run again. Here I am sitting here praying. There's all kinds of stuff jumping around in the background, and then zap right there.
All right, watch this spiritual wackadoo.
That was a real one. I could feel it. And now when I go back, we're going to go back to the top of that bolt and zoom in on the face. Okay, so here's the frame out of that sequence of me getting hit with that bolt. You can see the bolt coming down here. It's got a kind of a purple hue to it or whatever. And then we're going to start zooming in to the face up top here, and it's going to be Satan's face. So
all right, right now, I'm going to pause this and warn you guys, this is going to be Satan's face, okay? This is disturbing. So if you want to turn away, you can turn away and come back here in 2 minutes and I'll turn it off. But here we go.
You might want to stop the video at this point. But I do not glorify this at all. I do not like to give him attention, but it's important to know that he's real. Because he wants everybody to think that he's not real. I think you might be able to see this face without me pointing anything out yet. There we go. Okay, so let me zoom out so I can see it. If you look right here at this eye, this is his crazed eye. The other on the other side is bigger. It's the all-seeing eye. It's a little out of proportion, but then you can make out the side of his face, his jawline coming down, the bottom of his chin, his face going up here. Here's his mouth with some evil kind of grin on it. You can see his ear coming out over here. You can make out horns coming up. And this is in that mosaic of dots again, but these faces pop out and they're more prominent you can see this one really stands out.
Okay, it's enough of that.
And that's Satan right there.
And you see him
You can
attacking
even
me.
make out some wings coming up here. And he's mad. He's mad because I'm praying. And he's spitting bolts of energy at me. And
he's attacking me because of who I am. Are you getting it yet? He doesn't like me praying. He knows who I am. He's spitting these fiery darts at me. It hurt. I actually felt it. It like broke 2 of my ribs. It was intense. Then we got this happening. Now, good. Some people are still following along, minus the ad.
A little.
Well, you should be.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So these faces that I've been showing you in the last few videos that are in the etherical or in that mosaic that I was talking about are not only taking place there, but now they're taking shape in our clouds. And with this new filter, I was able to go through some of these pictures, and it really makes them pop now. So if you can't see it yet, there's an eye here, an eye here. Here's the nose, a mouth down below. Here's an ear coming back up, the jaw running down, little pointed chin. And this face seems to almost be bisected. One half is like a goblin, and this other half looks like almost like a Wolverine or a Ewok type character. So I'll let you look at that for a minute. And this was pretty faint in the original picture, but now with the filter, it really makes it pop. So hopefully you guys can see that now. And
All right, these are the faces in the clouds that follow me everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, it can be to a different town. I get these faces in the clouds that follow me everywhere I go. Now let's get into this one real quick here.
okay. Okay, one more, and this one right here, you can make out we have an eye here and an eye right here. Here's the nose, and here's some lips, and it looks like he's blowing. You can make out his ear over here, horns and stuff coming up, his eyebrows. There we go. Now you can see a little bit better. An eye, the nose, the lips. Okay, so I wanted to show you that one with the filter, so you can see it. It turned out pretty good too. So, well, that's it for now. I love you all.
See, if you guys looked up from your phones and looked up into the sky, you would see what's going on in your clouds and in your sky. That's why it says when you see these things, look up. Look up. Because there's stuff going on up in the clouds, evidence that the spiritual realm is real. And now I got these giant faces in the clouds that follow me everywhere I go. I got UFOs that follow me everywhere I go. They watch and study my every move. They follow, watch, and study just like you guys do. You're here at this channel, that means you follow it. You're watching this video, that means you're watching me. You're studying these images and trying to figure out if what I'm telling you is making sense. You're following, watching, and studying, just like these entities are. Because of who I am. Okay? Because of who I am. Let me, well, I'm showing you faces in the clouds. There's a whole series of faces, but now that's how you understand how we get to this point.
We can zoom in.
How we were getting faces in the clouds. How we got to this point. Now you understand kind of how we got to this point. All right, should I show you the one where it shows Jesus pulling his shirt open and exposing his heart? Yeah, let's go to that one. Because that'll help make sense too, some things. Where to go?
happens if you pour sugar into a carved out onion. Take a
Ew.
glass container with a lid.
Howdy folks, welcome back. So snapping some pictures of the clouds yesterday, and I noticed something
Yeah, I'm a character.
forming in the clouds. What looked like a face over here. And I'm gonna start zooming in on this face because it's a real face. And if you look back behind it here, let's zoom in just a little bit. You'll notice that back behind here, this face is being projected by Jesus's heart right here. You can see it radiating out. Here's Jesus's face. He's pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out this image in the sky. See this face here? And there's a crown right here. Also in the etherical, in black, there's another crown right here.
Oh, dude, look at this. Oh, so spooky. Look at this alien face right here. See this eye? It's white on one side and black on the other. There's an alien face right here. See this eye and the light on one half of the face right here? Watching from the background. This face right here is my face. Jesus's heart is projecting my face in the clouds.
Anyways, I just wanted to show you this picture. Isn't this amazing? And this face, I recognize this face. I know who this is. I know who this face is. I see him every morning in the mirror.
And now in the sky. So Jesus' heart is projecting my face wearing a crown in the clouds, okay? Because of who I am. He's projecting my face in the clouds with a crown. He's projecting my face.
Come in just a little bit tighter. There you go.
In the clouds with a crown. Make sense now? Get it? Kind of picking up on what I'm laying down here. It's not too tough. It should be comfort. It should comfort you to know that I'm here now. I'm with you. I love you. Nothing can take you out of my hand. I love you unconditionally, unfailing love. If you listen to my spiritual reports and take some of the advice and try those practices, you will find that you can live in peace during these times of turmoil. Okay? This is my face wearing a crown. It happened on Easter. It's because of who I am. If you look around and you see the wars and rumors of war, they ask, when will we know that you're back? Not that you're on your way. When will we know that you're back? Well, you'll see wars and rumors of wars. You'll see earthquakes in diverse places. All of those are signs that I'm back. And when you look up, you will see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. That's what the crown signifies, is power and great glory. It's not like Hollywood portrayed. The word was made flesh. It means when he comes back as a man. Just like the first time. Why should it be any different the second time around? And here I sit trying to explain this to the world, and I'm not believed. Sound similar? Sound familiar? I can relate because I'm going through the same process over again. and I'm taking the knowledge that I have and I'm trying to share it with you because I don't want to see my children die for lack of knowledge. I want them to rejoice. I want them to be secure. I want them to have courage. Take courage. You have victory. You have victory. Trust me. Look at me. Look at me and trust me. You will have victory. When you realize this is a testing ground and you see how miserably some of these people are failing and you see how hard it is really truly to stay joyful during affliction and you're actually managing to do it, you'll see that I am who I say I am. I'm trying to help you deal with the times that you're in, and I will take you into glory when we're done here. I love you all. I miss you all. God bless you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and I think you guys are enjoying it. My presence. I love you all. Bye.